Girls, you know I'm not big-headed, but this video is literally going to change your life. It is going to change your life. There, I've said it. I promise you, when you watch this video, if you've ever suffered from analysis paralysis, or you've ever felt like no matter what you're doing, it's not making a difference, and you find yourself stuck and freezing so much and really struggling to get going, this is for you. Why on earth do I have the gravitas to make a video like this, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you. Okay, I am a trained transformational life coach. I have been coaching for years now, literal years, and I really help people hone their zone of genius and be able to amplify their message in a way that feels really authentic and really great and build a business around it. So feeling the fear and doing it anyway is, you know, that infamous book, is one of the hardest things in the world to do. If you're going to show up online and you want to be a, you know, self-employed queen, you want to be setting your own rules, getting out there, showing the universe what you're made of, not bothered about what anyone has to say, I don't believe that that's ever possible. So what we have to do is create tools to be able to do that in a way that works for us. I will forever mess with my hair, but I got a gorgeous message from somebody. I'm going to put it on screen if I can edit that. And if I can, another gold star for me and my editing skills, who said she didn't mind it. So I'm just going to take that as that universally we're all on board that when you have a lot of hair and it's winter and it's kind of doing its own thing and I'm getting it coloured again in 2 weeks, that it's hanging on by a thread, literally one thread. We just got to go with it. So yes, it's very important to talk about analysis paralysis in a way that makes people feel not alone. And I think a lot of the content that I've seen online can be a bit, it's really basic, and that's fine. Yeah, okay, cool, sure, I'll set a great routine, I'll do all these things. But what are the fundamental things as a coach that I found that I've implemented for myself and for my clients that actually works and will make a difference? So the first thing we need to recognize with analysis paralysis is that it's totally normal, and that I don't know anyone who's never experienced it at some point in their lives. Now, that is on a scale of magnitude, of course, and different people have ways it affects them, and it shows up within their business and it shows up within their home life, of course, as well. But for a lot of people, it's micro and it's minimal, and actually they can kind of chug along with it. When it's not, when you're in full paralysis, it is dilapidating. You feel lost. You feel like no matter what you're doing and how you're showing up, it isn't making a difference. And so I'm talking to you. That's how you feel. I'm talking to you. And I want to normalize it, that I don't know anybody who at some point in their life probably hasn't gone through that, because I don't know anyone who's shown up 100% every single day and been like, I feel great every single day. I don't have any worries. I'm never scared of what people might think of me online. I genuinely don't know anyone like that. So let's normalize it, first of all, before we get into what we can do to deal with it and how we can recognize it. It's normal, and you're great and you're amazing and you're thriving, and keep doing what you're doing and showing up because the world wants to see you, okay? So firstly, normalizing it is paramount. Secondly, looking out for what the signs may be that you're stepping into analysis paralysis. So fear of doing anything at all for fear of getting it wrong means you don't do anything. Clue is literally in the name with the paralysis, isn't it? The overthinking and worrying about the outcome and what may happen, and then as a result, kind of just doing nothing about it. That is a sign to look out for. If you've had an idea that you've been sat on, we all have these, I've got like a little book of ideas, and maybe you've been sat on that idea for years and you daren't do it because you're scared of what people may think. That's definitely a sign of analysis paralysis and something to look out for. Listening to exterior opinions more than your own. If you find yourself feeling the fear of what people may think of you before you've actually done the thing, and also that means that you're not doing anything and not taking any risks, that's a really, really dangerous place to live your life, in a place of comfort. Our brain wants us to stay in our comfort zone. So again, normalize this. Like, I'm really tired of seeing online, take the big risk and do the big thing. Actually, for a lot of people, that's not really possible, because you live in a world where you have small children, maybe you care for your parents, you're caring for people. You can't just take a risk and, sack off your corporate job and do these things. It's actually, that's not very helpful. But are you taking small calculated risks, or are you staying in complete comfort zone? Those are really good signs to look out for. And if you're really scared about what people are going to say, by the way, people are always going to say things. And I often I normalise and rationalise that now. As I've got older, I really couldn't care less. Obviously, there's sometimes you might get a DM where somebody, you know, strangely will comment on your appearance and you think, yeah, I definitely don't look like what I looked like 10 years ago because, like, I'm in my 30s, not my 20s. So, you know, you look older or you look like this or, oh, this is, you've put weight on or you've changed, and you just can't care. You just have to send love to those people because they have a really small, empty life. And people are always going to say things and think things. And I really rationalise that with myself, and I pass on to my clients that they just clearly don't know you, you know, because you're a good person, you work from the heart, you are in a line of work where you are a service provider potentially. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'd be curious to know, actually. That would be really lovely to know. If you can comment below, what is it you do, and if this has helped you in some way with that work, just so I can understand for future videos and I can tailor who's watching this. Could be really great. But I just think they just don't know you. You know, I'm a really good person. I care about people. My job is helping people. Care about animals. Literally break my heart. I care about my family, my friends. So if you have negative things to say, well, that's kind of on you. So it's not going to stop me doing anything. And so really, really recognising if you're letting the exterior take over the interior monologue for yourself. Similarly, if you're constantly thriving comfort within your home, so do you retreat to your bed a lot? Do you dim the lights a lot? Do you get really, really overstimulated by, you know, if you have your TV, many screens, all the screens on, maybe you've got your TV, maybe you've got your phone, your laptop, you know, there's music playing potentially in your house, in another room, maybe you've got kids playing games, maybe there's just a lot going on, but do you feel really overstimulated, and is that affecting you? And so you're wanting to almost like cocoon yourself and hide away and create that mask of safety. That's a really, really, really big sign of analysis paralysis. Okay, so those are kind of the three main things that I would, whenever I work with a client, look out for. But also I wanted to share that with you, that maybe one of them you're starting to see. Not to be confused with hibernating, by the way, because I love a Sunday to have no plans bar a big long dog walk, maybe a roast, and then bed. I love that so much. But having said that, I'm not sat in my bed every day of the week. You know, I'm not going to be productive doing that at all. So I don't retreat to that space. That space is relaxation for me. And so I go into that space when my working day is done. So recognizing if you're potentially doing that, or if you're seeking out that extra comfort and how that feels for you. And I'm really, really, again, I'm going to say this and thread this throughout the whole video to tell you that it's normal to feel this way, and to push yourself to do new things can be really scary. In fact, I'm running a really cool workshop, by the way, on the 4th of Feb. So if you're watching this live, I'm going to put it down, but it's for people who are service providers who want to start working with companies and getting in a corporate space. I'll share all the details below. I won't let it take over this video, but if you've thought this is the year for me that I am not going to be afraid of walking into a company in that corporate space. I'm going to own who I am, and I'm going to show up. I have an amazing free workshop coming up, so I'll leave all the details in there for that. So you're in analysis paralysis and you're recognizing the states that you can be in. We want to know, how do we overcome this, right? How do we get past this and get into a steady flow state? Now, I don't want to flip it 180 and be like, okay, great, now you're going all in, all guns blazing, strategy. I love strategy. Honestly, I think it is the only way that you can survive as a service provider and working for yourself, to genuinely have a strategy of what you're focusing on each month. Otherwise, you just sit down at your laptop, open it and go, okay, I'll talk to someone today about something maybe, you know, so I love that. However, I do that in a really steady, strategic, slow pace. So the first thing you want to look at is simplifying all of your options. When you are in this state, everything feels difficult. So, you know, you can take this road, you can take this route, you can speak to this person, you can go there. What's one simple, actionable step that you can take that gets you from A to B? So eventually we want to be going all the way from A to Z, right? But right now, we just want to take one step. What can get me from A to B? And simplify that in a way that could take 10 minutes of your day. Maybe it's, I just need to change my email signature to be more aligned with what I'm focusing on. Or do you know what? I'm just going to update my bio on my website, not really tell anyone about it and see how it feels, and maybe see how I can go from there. Like, how is it resonating with me? Maybe I can get on a call with a coach potentially and just do like a little 20-minute discovery call, see if they do any free calls, and I can see if they're a good fit for me and what they think could help and how we could maybe work together in the future. Many things like that, but really simplify everything down so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And then the next day, how do you get from B to C? What's another small step that you can take? Really take your time. Focus on the difference that these small things can make within your life, all right, these small steps. Equally, I really think it's important to limit the amount of information that you intake. Now, when you are looking to sign up to free masterclasses, for example, or listen to a podcast or sit down on YouTube, I want you to really think about, how is this in line with what I need to know, where my focus is right now, and also what I need to be learning about. Because what can happen is, if you take in, you watch this YouTube video, you watch 3 others, then you take in 3 podcasts, you've instantly overwhelmed yourself again. And so being really strategic and limiting the amount of information that you take in, okay, is really important. Because at the end of the day, people can sit there and tell you 1,000 things to do, but you have to want to do those. And actually, it's really unhelpful, because we don't know your specific things that you're dealing with right now. We don't know the specifics of where you are in your life, how you're feeling. Actually, that's super unhelpful information for somebody who's in this place right now. We don't know all of that. And so realistically, you have to really be strategic and pick the right information that you need based on looking at the title. Before you even watch the video, maybe think, do I like the look of her? Do I like how she talks? Do I resonate with her? Every single coach is totally different, and how I show up online to talk about analysis paralysis will no doubt be really different to someone else. And so thinking about that can really help quite a lot as well. I'm so sorry I'm messing with my hair so much again, but it's because it's, when you just wash your hair and it's really fluffy and it's not doing what it should be doing. And in the viewfinder, it looks horrendous. I wish there was a way to it not to have a viewfinder on here, but it does, so we move. And I want you to also look at prioritizing your decisions that you're making. So we're limiting the intakes and we're taking small steps, but you also need to look at decision fatigue. My God, being a woman. What are we having for dinner? What are the plans for the weekend? What are we doing next week? Have we looked at booking a holiday? When are you taking time off? Is the laundry done? Have you seen my shirt? When's the dog last been walked? Blah, blah, blah. There are so many decisions, primarily, that women take on because we can handle it all. Thank you very much. We are all queens. However, when you're in analysis paralysis, the main decisions that you need to be making is what you need to focus on solely. So really thinking about how you can prioritize your decision-making process and what is a really important decision that you need to make that day, and only make that. Don't worry about everything else. The laundry can wait one more day. No one cares. Like, someone can just find something else to wear. They can deal with it, or they can do it for you. Right? Nothing matters in that moment. What matters is getting you out of this state of analysis paralysis, which is going to really fundamentally help you function going forwards. So when you've taken these first few little steps, a really key thing I want you to be able to reflect on is what actually kicked off this problem. And the reason I want you to wait a little bit before you go into that is because it's really important to know if someone or something is affecting you in that way, and how you can remove yourself potentially slightly more from that situation. I say this with love and kindness, because often 9 times out of 10, it's just our own fears and doubts. But sometimes someone says something to you once, or you were in a room and you were put down maybe, or, you saw something online that said, if you don't have 10 years experience in this, you shouldn't do it. And try to really think about that, rationalize it, and actually work out why that triggered this response, and really take your time around that. And I think that's the piece that's missing a lot in terms of people going, just set a routine and make easier decisions, sure. But if we don't identify the problem, it potentially will happen again. And we don't want you to get there. We don't want you to be in that state of feeling like, God, I'm back here again. Things aren't working out for me. I feel really upset where I am. I feel like nothing's working in my favor. It doesn't have to be like that. And I think that's the really important piece, that actually it doesn't have to be like that. You know, I really, really, really want you to understand that you are whole and brilliant and intelligent as you are. And take my mantra, literally take my mantra, write it all over your walls on your phone. I have unique and valuable things to say. I have unique and valuable things to say, and I'm going to say them and I'm going to share them. All right? This may seem like a really, really simple video. And again, I simplified and pulled back this video because I didn't want someone to watch it and feel overwhelmed. You know, these are fundamental things that you can do. I would love you to comment below. If you're still here, put just below, still here. I'd love to know if you made it to the end. But similarly, I would love to know what industry you work in and if this has helped you, so that I can really start to curate everything for my channel that I feel is helping the audience who are here in the early stages, the OGs. I want to be helping you, and putting up this free content every single week is part of that. So thank you so much for being here. Like I mentioned, I have an amazing workshop on the 4th of Feb. If you're a service provider, you're going to want to jump into this. It is incredible. So much value. I'm doing it with my friend Lucy Sheridan. We are chronic over deliverers, so far too much information that most people wouldn't give away for free, but we are just here wanting to help the masses. So yes. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe. I'm desperately trying to get to the 1,000 subscribers mark. My goodness, I'm on like 360 or something. So if you want to subscribe, that would mean so much to me. If you find a friend who's in this place, please share this video, get them to subscribe. I'm sharing videos every Sunday morning, so you can have your coffee, take me, you know, into the bedroom or the bath or whatever feels good for you. Just give you that cozy, reassuring vibe. No Sunday scaries here. Everything's going to be okay. Small steps. And remember, I have unique and valuable things to say. I'll see you next week.